Hey guys, Ultimate Super X here. Today we're going to talk about a theory that I've always wanted to talk about on this channel. And I've never really done a theory before, but this is something I always want to talk about. I probably said that a million times already. That I'm going to talk about the Sonic timeline. There's always been a lot of I guess you could say, guessing of how the timeline went down. So I'm going to talk about how I personally feel the order of the games in what I feel like could be the chronicle. I can't talk today. Anyways, first of all, we're not going to touch up on the preschool games. I don't think those are canon whatsoever, to be honest. I mean, I almost wanted to squeeze in Tails the Music Maker somehow, but as I did some digging, that barely even has a story, so yeah, I'm not going to squeeze in those. I am debating on if I'm going to squeeze in the cops. No, I am debating if I'm going to squeeze in the Sega Sonic Cop Patrol. I think is what it's called. I have to look it up again. And the Space Arcade game. I'm debating if I'm going to squeeze those in somehow or not. We'll just see. And if you heard that, know that. Anyways. So, let's begin. Okay, I believe the first game in the timeline is Dynamite Ducks. I know that's probably freaking some of you guys out, because Dynamite Ducks is not even a Sonic game. But according to Vitals Megamix official guide, it reads that Ben is actually the father of Bean. Ben is from Dynamite Ducks, and Bean's a character from Sonic the Vitals. I'm not sure how that works, because Ben is a duck, and Bean's a woodpecker, but we have not gotten any more information about that. Anyways, to the next game. Next in the timeline, I believe, is Flicky the game. Mostly because it's in the 80s, so I guess you could say this takes place way before Sonic was even born. At least that's what I believe. Okay, next. Next is Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, which, as far as we know, is his very first adventure. Then Tails' adventure, which is believed to take place before Sonic and Tails has ever met. Then there's Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. I always believe this is where Sonic and Tails actually first met. Dr. Robotnik kidnapped Tails, and Sonic spotted them and tries to save him. Next is Sonic 2 for the Genesis. Well, Sonic and Tails should probably have the very first adventure together. Next is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yes, I am counting both as one game, and yes, I see Hyper as canon. Bite me. In this next part of the timeline, Sonic and Tails decided to separate a bit and go on their own adventures, which leads us to Tails' Sky Patrol. Next is SONIC.CD. Now, I already know what you people's going to say, but see, SONIC.CD came before Sonic 2. Sega said so. Well, Sega has contradicted themselves before. Also, I also believe this takes place around the same time Tails Sky Patrol, the middle when they're still separated. And I also believe this is where actually the timeline really did split. I think this timeline split way before Generations. We have the good future and the bad future. Two separate timelines. First, let's focus on the timeline on the bad future. Next in the timeline is Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure. And yes, I do believe modern Sonic has never met Mighty, Ray, Barks, Bean, Fang in this timeline. I also believe this is also where he slowly becomes his modern self. Next in the timeline is Sonic the Hedgehog 4, where he is more in his modern design, but yet keeps the classic running style. Next will be Sonic 4 Episode Metal and Episode 2. And I believe this also hints that this takes place in the Bad Future timeline. Because on Episode Metal, we see that Metal Sonic is in the Bad Future of Stardust Speedway. Next on this Bad Future timeline would be Sonic Adventure, Sonic Shuffle, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic Pinball Party. Now the reason I think Pinball Party happened after Sonic Heroes is because in Sonic Heroes, Metal Sonic has hinted that it's been a very long time since he and Sonic has fought. Next is Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Battle. The reason I think Sonic Battle happens after Shadow the Hedgehog is because in Sonic Battle, Shadow seems to remember Maria and Professor Gerald. Well, in Shadow the Hedgehog, he has not remembered them at all. Next is Sonic Rush and Sonic Advance Free. The reason I think Advance Free happened after Rush is because in Rush, we don't see Gemworld at Cream's house. Next, I think, would be Sonic Jump, the original 2005 version, if you want to count the app games canon or not. Then would be Sonic Riders. Next is Sonic 06. Even though this game kind of erased itself from the timeline, though I think it's very possible that this game's events actually still exist and maybe in a whole nother timeline on its own. Especially since the level of Crisis City is actually still around inside Sonic Generations. So I think that's actually a hint on maybe it's still out there in the timeline. Next would be Sonic Rush Adventure, Sonic Rivals, Sonic in the Secret Rings, Sonic Rivals 2, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, Sonic Unleash, Sonic in the Black Knight, Sonic Free Riders, and Sonic Chaos. Okay, next we're going to talk about both the Bad Future timeline and the Good Future timeline, which this might get a little confusing. I believe Sonic Generations and Sonic the Hedgehog Game Gear version happened at the same time. Well, in their own timelines. Because we see Sonic, classic Sonic, running through Green Hill Zone in Generations. So that makes me believe this probably happens around the same time he is going on Adventures in South Island again on the Game Gear version of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is actually a totally different game, believe it or not. Next would be Sonic Jump. Again, if you want to see the app games are canon or not, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Runnels, Sonic Runnels Adventure, and Team Sonic Racing. I know that one sounds odd, but I don't know. I kind of feel like that happened before Forces, because Forces was a dark tone, and And I have a hard time believe that it's gone right back to a happy tone, because it's kind of hinted that they still got a lot of cleaning up to do after what Eggman done in Forces. Okay, now we're going to talk about both timelines again. First, the Good Future timeline. And the next game in this timeline would be Sonic Mania, which is where Sonic discovers the Phantom Ruby. And then the Phantom Ruby transports him into the Bad Future timeline in the end of this game. Back to the Bad Future timeline. Next would be the Sonic Forces comics, and then the Sonic Forces, starting with the Shadow story, and then the main story. In the end of this game, Classic Sonic is transported back to his timeline, which would be the Good Future timeline. And then the events of Sonic Mania Adventures happen, which is where I believe Sonic has actually first met Mighty and Ray, because it seems to be evidence he did not knew them at all until now. Neither did Knuckles, since he did not know who Mighty was when Ray shows him the missing postal. Next would be Sega Sonic, Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic Cosmos Final, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Spinball, Sonic Triple Trouble, Knuckles Chaotix, Sonic the Fighters, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Blast, and Sonic R. All these games takes place in the Good Future timeline. Also, the evidence I have that Mania is in the Good Future timeline is the fact they used the Good Future version of Stardust Speedway. Next for the Bad Future timeline would be the IDW comics. I know some people said the comics aren't canon, but either way they are based on what happens after Forces. As for Sonic Chronicles, it's kind of hard to pinpoint where this takes place in the timeline over its ending. My guess would be maybe the very end of the timeline, or it might have happened after Sonic Unleashed, where Eggman actually took over the human planet, which is probably why we haven't seen Sonic and his friends visit the human world in 10 years. Anyways, this basically wraps up my Sonic the Hedgehog timeline theory. You might have noticed I did not add in the other arcade games, basically because I'm having a hard time seeing Sonic driving a patrol car. That's just my opinion. And I did not add in Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, basically because I think that's mostly a tie-in for the cartoon Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. But anyways, comment what you think, and also comment if you have anything to add to this theory. And this is Ultimate Super X. I'll catch you later. Oh wait, I forgot to add Sonic Drift to the mix. And that's why Sonic Drift sucks.